everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den again, and this week I've got this tiny little box to show you what we're going to make. My friend said it would be a great idea for somebody to give a husband to give to his wife with a ring in it. But I have got a chocolate in mine. It's a Ferrero Rocher. It holds a Ferrero Rocher chocolate, and it's just a gorgeous little idea. This one is made using the hearts that are actually sassy hearts, and they are retired now along with this one. So today I'm going to put a butterfly on the top of the one we're going to make, but it's called a winged box. So it's so easy to make, even though it looks really a bit funny, and it's really not got many pieces in it. So I hope you like today's project. Let's get started. So today we need a magnet. I tried doing one with Velcro and it just doesn't go very well. So you need a couple of magnets. I've got two here that are stuck together, so at the present time, oops, that's the best way for them to be. And this is all we need. Isn't that lovely? So we need a piece of card, and I'm using Melon Mambo. No, I'm not. I'm using Flirty Flamingo, sorry. And this measures 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 square. And then we need two pieces more that measure 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 square. So both of those are that. And then two pieces of designer paper, which is another way of using up some good pieces of scrap, because these only measure 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 square. So we're going to start by popping those two pieces together while they're nice and square, and just cutting them diagonally across them. So you can do that on your trimmer if you want, but there is no reason to. So we've got those done. We've got our magnet just sitting there like that, and we need another piece of scrap, whoops, that I've got here, which is Petal Pink, which I'm going to stamp on. And I'm going to use the Butterfly Gala stamps, and I'm going to use this one. I'm only using the large one, but it will stamp out part of the other one, but we don't want it anyway. But the punch that goes with it is the Butterfly Duet Punch, and I just love this set. Mine, as you can see, mine is very, very well used. Okay, so that's what we're going to need. We're going to use Flirty Flamingo ink to do our stamping with, along with a little bit of memento. We're going to need some mini glue dots, and that's about it. A bit of wet glue, and we do need wet glue. Okay, so let's get started. So we need our, so we don't want our trimmer in yet. We need our scoreboard in. I could have scored on the trimmer, I guess. And we're going to score this at 1 3/8. 1 3/8. And 2 3/4. 2 3/4. Oops. And then we're going to turn that, and we're going to score it at 1 3/8. And 2 3/4 again. So we have the same on all 9 of these squares are exactly the same size. We're also, while we've got the scoreboard in, we're going to score our other two pieces, and we're going to score them at 1 3/8. 1 3/8. And turn it 90 degrees and score it at 1 3/8 again. And we're going to do the same on the other piece, so 1 3/8, turn it and score it at 1 3/8. And that's all our scoring done. Well, it's not all our scoring done, but that's all our scoring done for the moment. Okay, so let's start on our bigger piece, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut from the score line to the middle, the first score line on the side. We're going to do that on all 4 sides. So we're going to score down to the score line, and we're going to turn it and we're going to score down to that score line. We're then going to trim these in half on the ends. So we don't need all that bulk. Oops. And then we will notch these in on both ends of our card. Oh, that doesn't look very straight, does it? That's better. And that's our little box done. Let's get rid of all my scraps there. Oops, there's one bit left. And we will make the box up. So we're going to fold and burnish all our score lines now. I find it easier to do this after I've cut all of this, only because you've not got flappy bits while you're trying to do all your cutting. So, and we will stick our box together. So using your wet glue, which I find is so much easier, we will stick our box together, making sure that we get it nice and even along those sides, because the squarer your box, the better the lid fits on. Oh, sorry, I'm out of the screen. So that's our 4 flaps on our box done, and we're making sure that it's nice and square. That one's not. Move over a little bit more, that's better. And that's got our box all nice and square. So there's our box done. So now we will work on our lid, and we need both of these pieces for our lid. So for our, what we need to do now is we need to bring in our trimmer, and we need to move our trimming blade out of the way, because what we're going to do is we're going to score on remove 3 sides of this. So from that, let's see if I can use it. From this score line here to this score line here is going to be removed. So going to remove that one. We're going to, I find it easier then to pull it down, pull this into the picture, pull it down to the bottom because it's closer to me, and then line this one up and cut the next one off, and then turn it around and cut the next one off using this groove to make sure. Then once we've done that, we'll move that blade out of the way, and what we're going to do is bring it around to the next side, and we're going to score it. Okay, so we have a score line across the top there. So we'll do that one more time. So we're going to, from this score line to this score line on the diagonal, we're going to remove that corner, and we're going to do that on all 3 corners. I can do it in the middle so that you can see what I'm doing off really easy. From that score line to that score line, and remove the, so we've got all these triangles we don't want. From that score line to that score line, remove it. Then we move our blade out of the way, and from that score line to that score line, we are going to put another score line. Okay, so we have like, let's move my scoreboard out of the way. This way we've got, I would call them houses. They look like little houses. Okay, so now we're going to turn them so that the points are pointing towards you. Let's move all these little bits out of the way. We don't want those, so they can go in the bin. And we're going to then cut from this score line here all the way up on the left hand side. And then on the other one we're going to do the same thing on the right hand side. So when you've got them facing you, you can see you've got a left hand cut and a right hand cut. I've got that around the wrong way, left and right, it doesn't matter. So that is our cuts. Now we're going to fold all of our score lines, and this is where you find out how good your score lines and your folds are, making sure that they're nice and square. Oh gosh, I'm having trouble getting that in there. As well as our top score line, oops, which folds, sorry, the opposite way. So we'll start with this. We'll fold our flap on the end that's left up, and everything else gets folded down. So I'll turn it over and make sure it's nice and square, because the squarer it is, the better they fit together. So if they're not quite square, make sure you get them nice and square. Okay, so we've got one here with the flap up and the one on the right fold with this flap up. Now we're going to bring in our wet glue again, and we're going to pull this flap here around and glue it underneath. So this flap here, there's the pointy bit like a hat, and you've got your piece, your triangle on the side, and you're going to put your glue on that triangle, and you're going to bring it around underneath the other one and glue it so that it forms a triangle cap, I guess you could call it, because it looks a bit like a cap. So, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other one, so that the triangle is the opposite way. So we're going to bring that one around and under, and making sure that it sits nice and square. There we go. Give them a nice rub to make sure they're nice and firmly down. And that is our lid just about ready. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pop our lid onto our box like so. But it's better to flip it around until you find the side where they go together just perfect. Because sometimes one side goes together better than the other. Now that to me works together heaps better than the others. So what we're going to do then is, once we know that that's where it's going to go, I'll just check the last side. Oops. Once you know that that's going together really, really nicely, nope, that last side was working much better. What we're going to do is then we're going to take this flap here, and we're going to put some glue on this flap. We want to make sure that it's glued down really nice and tightly. We're going to pop that on the top, and then we are going to glue that down tight to the bottom. Once you're happy with that one, you're going to do exactly the same again on the other side. Now, so we're going to Then pop some glue on this other flap, this the cap front, I guess you would call it if it was a cap. We're going to put some glue along here, and we're going to glue that onto the other side of the box as such, making sure that it goes nice and neatly and keeps the box nice and neat together. Okay, well, our box is looking. These flaps don't sit together perfectly, and they never will. Doesn't matter unless you want to work in less than 1/16 of an inch. So, so we've got 4. So we're going to pop our 4 little pieces of triangle onto our designer paper onto our card. So one goes on the top here, on the left hand side, right hand side, whichever. Right hand side for me. And oops, another one on the left hand side. Another one down the side here on this triangle, and another one on the triangle on the other side. Oops, there's ink on the wrong side there. So, that one. That's our basic box. So now what we're going to do is we are going to cut ourselves a 1-inch circle out of this piece of petal pink, and we're also going to stamp our butterflies from the butterfly duet, and I'm going to stamp them in Flirty Flamingo, and I'm not worrying about the other one off the top because I'm only wanting the one butterfly. So let's pop that one away, and I'm going to stamp his body in Memento. Black Memento. I'm not going to worry about his little antennae because we're not going to use them, and we will use this punch to punch him out. So and that's our butterfly punched out. Okay. Now what we're going to do is with our magnet, we're going to pop our magnet on the underside here. So we're going to get a glue dot, and we're going to put our 2 magnets together so we get the right side. And we're going to put a glue dot on, our magnet, and pop him on the underside there. Get off, Mum. Get off. Doesn't want to. Got the glue dot all stuck. The glue dot is all stuck around my tool and not on the magnet. Let's do that again. Okay, so then we're going to pop him on the inside here, so that you can see him. Can you see it just on the inside there? And then the other one will be on the outside in the same spot, which we're now going to put another glue dot on the top of, and we will then pop our 1-inch circle on top of that. Okay, and then we will glue the other half of our circle to the other side of the box. So we'll pop a little bit of glue there, and we'll glue the other half of our circle to the other side of the box. So when we open the box, our glued circle will stay on one side. We'll open this box so we can squeeze it down. But when that box closes, it will close together. Like so. We're then going to use our bone folder to give our butterfly some lovely wings. And give him just a little bit of a roll in the middle so that he comes up. I like him to look like he's flying. And I'm going to use a couple of small dimensions on the back of him. Side by side. And he will then pop them in the rubbish bin and sit straight on the top of the box like so. Now how gorgeous is that? How gorgeous is this little box? It's going to pop closed, snap closed, and as I say, it will hold. Let's take one out of here, the one out of here, because I haven't got any more here with me. A Ferrero Rocher chocolate. It makes a lovely little gift, just to go with a card to someone that's not feeling well, and just a little something to say, hi, I'm thinking of you. What a gorgeous little idea. I hope you've enjoyed this week's project. This one I did with Velcro, and I wasn't happy with the way it went. But if you don't have magnets, which you can purchase online from eBay, I couldn't tell you the name of the place. I just do a search for the magnets, craft magnets, and you'll find them online. I have 3 different sizes. This is my medium-sized ones. My little ones are okay for a project that doesn't need a lot of weight, but this being going through card and 2 lots of card and designer paper, it needs a little bit of oomph on it, where this one I put the smaller magnet. As you can see how much smaller that magnet is there, and it's not quite as strong. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week's project. If there's anything I can help you with, these products are all all the products except for the hearts are available for purchase. If you would like to make a purchase from me, you are welcome to. If you live in Australia, you can give me a call, an email or PM, so that I can help you with your purchase or any advice that you would like. If you would prefer to shop online, you're welcome to shop online and just put my name in as your demonstrator. You will find those details down the bottom of the screen. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now.